Reimagining Bangladesh after Sheikh Hasina is difficult, not because her 15-year rule dominated the country's politics, but also because the people of Bangladesh are waiting to see the shape their country will take after the transition to an elected government. The past year, under interim government of Muhammad Yunus, has not allowed people to forget why the student protests in July 2024 were a grim reminder of the alleged misrule and authoritarianism that had seeped into governance. The week visited Dhaka this April, where the crumbling walls of the once heavily guarded Prime Minister's residence, Gana Bhavan, and the graffiti across the state bore testimony to the fact that the time has come for people to have a say in their governance, their problems, and their future to rebuild a new Bangladesh. Today, Hasina's home is being turned into a museum, likely to be called the July Uprising Memorial Museum. The VIP complex was originally built by Hasina's father, the first leader of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But today, the broken walls, now under repair, tell the tale of the violence that had hit the streets and arrived at Hasina's doorstep, forcing her to flee. She is believed to be staying at an undisclosed location in New Delhi. A year later, back in Bangladesh, different political forces are at play. Firstly, all eyes are on Muhammad Yunus, chief advisor of the Bangladesh Interim Government, who has declared that elections will be held soon. The timeline the Yunus government is looking at is to hold elections in February 2026. Sources say the process is likely to kick off soon, with the Election Commission discussing the dates. The central challenge stems not from a lack of vision. Professor Yunus has outlined reform, justice, and elections as the way forward, but from the attempt to balance too many contradictions. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which has been sitting out in the cold for the last 15 years, is sensing an opportunity to rally the masses and roll out its elaborate agenda for reforms, an agenda that has been on the minds of the people over the past year. The BNP was the first party to present a detailed reform plan called the 31-Point Charter for Reforms. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Alamgir says his party had presented the charter as far back as May 2016 to assure reforms in the country's political and economic structure. He says it was the BNP under party founder Ziaur Rahman that brought in the multi-party system in 1975 and under Begum Khaleda Zia in 1991. Returning to democratic rights for the people of Bangladesh and introducing the parliamentary form of government. Today, the BNP is demanding that the elections be held as soon as possible to bring in the elected government. The Jamaat-e-Islami's domestic space has also opened up after being banned during the Hasina regime. But the next steps will determine how ready Bangladeshis are to embrace it. There are already apprehensions in India about the possible persecution of minorities and concerns on the expansion of the radical space. However, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, Amir of the Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh, assures that the party stands for constructive politics and mutual respect for values he believes can drive Bangladesh away from violence on the streets and help address economic and social issues. A new party, the National Citizens Party, formed by students who took part in the July protests, is also preparing to make its debut. The young leaders in their 20s and 30s are seen as the voice of the youth and face of change that Bangladeshis are seeking, from people-centric governance, employment opportunities to an independent foreign policy. The struggles of an average Bangladeshi citizen is evident in how NCP leaders like Tasnim Jara and Nahid Islam operate. They work out of makeshift office, holding meetings in crowded marketplaces and local halls, and travel by rickshaws and autos. As Tasneem explains, she is driven by the hope that one day, the will to bring positive change and inject life into the economy and politics of Bangladesh will become a reality. The challenge is to keep their heads above water and expand their reach beyond Dhaka into the rural belts in order to energize the political force and be capable of mobilizing voters. 1 year after their successful attempt to dislodge Hasina, their next test lies in the electoral arena. What hangs heavy in the air is the sudden disappearance of the Awami League's voter, leader and supporters. Not just their physical absence, but the silence that has replaced them. It will take a free, fair and participatory election to truly reimagine Bangladesh, one that avoids forced governance or forced exclusion and instead taps into the real pulse of the people. As an Indian anthropologist from Nagaland, Abraham Lothar rightly said, "If you don't listen to the people, you don't have the right to fight for them."